Dreams of Inheritance by Shadow Swimmer 77. I take the stairs 2 by 2, coming home from Granny's funeral. A witch, they called her, the superstitious fools. So relieved at her passing, they'd never thought to investigate its odd suddenness. Not that they would have found anything. The work had done in a few moments with a thick pillow as she slept, her gnarled hands grasped at my wrists, ancient lungs struggling to capture the barest breath. Was hardly an effort, and left no evidence of foul play. I reached the landing, intent upon my prize, the treasure she kept locked in her room, the old metal key that in life never left the cord around her neck, now held in my hand. No fool myself, I had waited until sure I was overlooked of mischief before attempting to secure the wealth now rightfully, if treacherously, mine. I pause, wary. The door I'm sure I closed before leaving for the churchyard stands cracked open. Thieves, then, aware of the rumors of her great fortune and seeking my inheritance as their own. They'll have no chance without the key, and I'll not be handing it over. I draw the small pistol from my pocket and edge, silently, down the hall. Bursting through the door ready to do violence, I stop, suddenly unsure. A figure sits in Granny's old rocker. It's back to me. But from where I stand, I can see a twisting hand clutching the chair arm, hear labored breaths crackling from its chest. A laugh, dry as snapping twigs or rattling bones, issues from a mouth of worn leather. The chair slowly begins to turn. Abruptly, I awake sprawled in my bed, tangled amongst the sheets. The memory of the nightmare that must have woken me has already faded from my brain. Granny calls to me from the next room, the sound of her voice causing an unbidden wave of disgust to issue from deep within my chest. Reflexively, my hands tighten around my pillow, and reaching a decision I have long been considering, I rise from my bed. My gaze fixed upon the door, a smile threatens to tug at the corners of my lips. The thought of wealth soon to be mine playing across the surface of my mind. Yet still, as I creep from the room, I'm plagued by the most nagging feeling that I've done this before. The motel where I died, by eye post at midnight. Sometimes I return to the motel where I died. I don't know why, but I keep finding myself dragged here again and again, like a moth to a flame or maybe like a junkie to his dealer. The place is a little shabbier every time I get pulled back. I see more blackened light bulbs in the sign, more bugs clogged in the pool, and more unswept cigarette butts. The Coke machine fizzes as much as the Coke itself, while the ice machine mainly produces mold and irritating clanks. It was a shitty place to stay, let alone die. Tonight, I drift through the wall to see a family in my old room. They look tired and sunburned and ready to be home, and I figure the only reason they're here is because their vacation budget didn't stretch far enough. I guess that's life for you. Something unexpected always changes your plans. Naturally, they can't see or hear me, so I can't give them the grand tour. I can't explain that the holes in the wall were caused by my fists, from when I was trying to kill the things that I thought were slithering beneath the tacky wallpaper. I can't tell them how my teeth were responsible for the chunk of porcelain missing from the toilet, or warn them that the scratchy spot on the carpet where their kid is currently crawling around and looking for his toy was once my blood. There's no point moaning and wailing about any of this, but I do whisper. It's an angry whisper, the same thing I say every time I return. Fuck you, Carlos. The night I died, all I wanted to do was get high. But Carlos wanted a guinea pig. So he kindly offered me a free syringe of some high-grade experimental shit. I didn't care what it was. One tiny prick of that needle was all it took. Not even enough time to plunge the spike completely. But one tiny needle bite, and I was turned into a raging homicidal maniac. And since I was holed up in here by myself, the only homicide was a suicide. At least I didn't hurt anyone else. But still, fuck you, Carlos. Guess you could say I'm clean now. Sort of. Turns out ghosts are just addicts of a different kind. Always returning for the taste of our former lives, like picking at scabs. Apparently, we just can't stop ourselves from revisiting our mistakes. A haunt is a hit for a ghost. I can't think of any other reason why I keep ending up here. Unless maybe Maybe because this is where my final mistake rolled up under the bed, where no one ever cleans, where the father is reaching to retrieve his kid's toy, where he's now jerking his hand back from the bite of a needle. One tiny bite. Oh, hell. I turn to go, but I've suddenly lost the ability to walk through walls. Something wants me to watch this.